Welcome back to another episode of The John, your daily sports dump, where we plunge in the sports world. We are a sports pipeline for breaking news, game recaps, and the hottest takes in the sports industry. So by taking care of business, let us fuss out the details and fill you in on what's happening. So take a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you have plenty of TP. It's time to explode the commode. I'm your host, John, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some more college basketball hot takes. Why High Point is a team that you guys need to be looking out for again, as I talked about them last year. Two elite college basketball point guards that I just don't think will translate to the NBA well. And finally, why Santa Clara is a dangerous team coming out of the west of the WCCC. All right, guys, let's start this first with High Point. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys know that last year I was high on High Point heading into March Madness. And this year, again, I'm very high on them. They're top 5 in the country in points per game. They score 91 points per game. They have a scoring margin of plus 21.1. Which they're basically beating opponents by 20 points in every game. They've lost one game in conference play, 11-1 in Big South play. They're 23-4 overall. They average 23 points off of turnovers, which is an insane stat. Obviously, you can say the competition and stuff, but if they're able to just get a little bit of that in March, they're going to be a dangerous team because they have the talent. Terry Anderson is a walking bucket on this team. He's taken a huge step in his sophomore year, his second year with the team. Last year he averaged just around 4 points, 4.7 points. This year he's averaging 15. And then to add on to that, Cameron Fletcher is a dude who started his college career at Kentucky, then went to FSU, then went to Xavier. Now he's at High Point averaging 14 points. So they have a bunch of power forward talent guys on this team. And you saw that last year with guys like Justin Bodo. He's at Baylor. They have guys at Ole Miss. They have guys all over that were on this High Point team last year that was a dangerous March team. And I think this team could do a very similar team. Like, I think because we're having two, right? You guys know how I feel about St. Louis. I don't think they're mid-major. They're so talented. Miami Ohio is getting a lot of the mid-major attention. And I don't think a team like High Point is getting a lot of attention because of all the guys that they've lost. But they are building a squad in there, and High Point has been doing that since they've been at the Division I level. And I feel like they haven't gotten the respect that they deserve. And this year, I think they could arguably be better than what they were last year. And they shoot 36% from three, which is how those mid-major teams beat those Power 4 teams, by shooting the three ball. And they do that. They shoot 50% from the field. Like, this team is elite, and they're going to display if they can win this Big South, which I think is 100% in the playing cards. Now, two elite point guards that I just think their skills will not translate to the NBA, the next level. Jeremy Fears Jr. is one. And you guys might be like, John, you're an Illinois fan. This is why you're saying this. No, guys, like, don't get it wrong. He's averaging 15 points, 8 assists. Like, he's a really good basketball player. But he's shooting 44% from the field, 90% from three-point line. But he's shooting 25% from three. In modern day NBA, there's no way he can translate that unless he somehow learns how to shoot the ball more consistently. This has been something since he's been on Michigan State. He hasn't been able to shoot the three ball well at all. And I don't think he can really do that in the next level. And I think he's going to be one of those dudes who will go down like Frank Mason. I love Frank Mason when he was in college. But he was a great college guard. He wasn't a great NBA guard. I think that's what Jeremy Fears is going to be. I really do. I think he's a great assist guy, right? He's a great facilitator at the college level. But I don't think he can translate that, and I think a big reason to that is because of his shooting. He cannot shoot the three ball well in college, and that's a shorter three ball than the NBA level, and I think it won't translate. And another dude, his fellow Big Ten counterpart, Braden Smith. I think he's very similar to a Cassius Winston. Just passed him up, right, in the all-time assist record, in a Big Ten career assist record. But Cassius Winston, every year he was at Michigan State, everyone was like, this dude's the best point guard in college basketball. We've been saying that now for Braden Smith for 2 years. And he's not on any NBA draft radars. If he is, it's late first, second round. And those dudes don't get much run. And Braden Smith, I think, is an undersized guard. I think that's why he's very similar to Cassius Winston. Both undersized guards, especially in the league where the way the league is going, where all these big guards, right? Like a Keaton Wilder, like a Keaston Fleming, 6'5", 6'6" guards, point guards, where our dude like Braden Smith just can't compete with them with the size. Braden Smith is a great passer, great facilitator. He can score the ball. He can dish it. But he is not I don't think it'll translate. I really don't. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Purdue and I don't like Michigan State. I just think I think Cassius Winston and Frank Mason are two very good comps for both of these guys. I think they both fill the role of being good college, elite level college guys who cannot play in the NBA but play well overseas. I think that's what these two guys are. I really do. I think they're both a little undersized, and I don't see them making the transition. But I could be completely wrong. This is just my personal opinion. And my final take of this episode that I really think you guys need to pay a lot more attention to is this Santa Clara team is legit. 22-5, 13-1 WCC play. They're first in the conference right now, in a conference with St. Mary's and Gonzaga. No one's talking about the Santa Clara Broncos. They're averaging 83 points a game. They have a 12.5 scoring margin. They're shooting almost 34% from three, shooting 47 from the field. And some dudes that you guys need to know that I'm going to put you on, Chase Hammond has made a huge jump, and I think he could be in talks. I don't think he's going to win it, but he could definitely be in talks for WCC Player of the Year. He averaged 4 points, 3.7 points last year, and is now averaging 16.7 points per game. That is an insane jump, right? I talked about High Point, how they have a dude who's right, and Terry Anderson, who's averaging almost 10 more points per game than he is last year. Chase Hammond is almost averaging 13 more points. That is unheard of. And then another dude that I feel like in such a dominant basketball conference, Allen Graves could be Freshman of the Year. He's averaging 11-7 and is shooting 50% from the field. 50% as a freshman is insane, right? Obviously, and I feel like he's getting kind of messed up because of how great this freshman class is. But in a really good basketball conference with San Francisco, with obviously Gonzaga and St. Mary's, right? Even like LMU, Loyola, they're another scary team in this conference. Portland, you saw what they can do against Gonzaga. I think the Santa Clara could compete with Gonzaga in the WCC tournament. I really do. I think this team, and I think St. Mary's, but I lean more towards Santa Clara. They beat St. Mary's. They have a big game tomorrow at 9:30 Central, my time, against Gonzaga. A big game against them tomorrow night that could really prove to the whole country that they're legit. I am already pretty bought in on them. They have wins over Xavier, San Diego, Portland, Pacific, San Francisco. They lost to Gonzaga early on in the year, but one that I really want to talk about and focus on, they lost to St. Louis by 1 point. And St. Louis is being talked about as a team that could go to the Sweet 16, right? A deep March run, and they were in the game against them. They were in the game for the whole time, competing with them, and that's why I think, right, Chase Hammond, Allen Graves, these dudes could really propel this Santa Clara team to what the Brandon Pajemskis couldn't do for them, right? Couldn't make a far run. I think this team could make it to the second week of the tournament. I really do. I think they're that talented. If they get the right draw, they've shown they compete with these teams. And, I mean, obviously you guys got to watch this game tomorrow and on Saturday night to prove it if they can really compete with these Gonzaga-level teams, because those are the teams they're going to be facing in the tournament. But, guys, that's all that I have for today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. This was one of my favorite ones to watch. I love, right, now that the football season is over, it's March Madness and baseball time, my two favorite seasons, and I'm so excited for this stuff to come up. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of The John, your daily sports dump, where we plunge into everything sports and flush out all the nonsense. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for live updates and hot takes in real time. Join me next time on The John, your daily sports dump. We'll be writing in the captain's log with deep sports insights. Until then, keep your game face on and stay regular. This is The John.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open